Okay, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you can all hear me okay. It is I, your guy, your boy. It's just Matt. And welcome to week 6 of the VDL Season 8 Wi-Fi Draft League. Today we are taking on my good friend, Roki Mashin. Roki? Actually, Roki, I don't know the second half of your name. I don't know how to properly say it. We're taking on the homie Roki right now. And the Tuscon Talonflames. Tuscon? I have to assume it's Tucson, not Tuscan. That'd be so funny if it's Tuscan. So yeah. I guess that's... Wow, that was really loud apparently, wasn't it? Let's make sure it's the right mic. Yeah, that's the gist. Let's talk about the team. Roki's had a little bit of a tough start to the season. 1-4, I believe, is where he's at. We have 3-2, so like a little better, but not much better if you really think about it. The reason we're playing together is because we were close enough in week 3. So like this isn't going to be an easy game, mind you. But I do think he's one of the weaker teams. And I think we have a solid matchup. So let's talk about it. One is Terra Captain Porygon 2. This is his debut, actually, because it was Mammoth Swine. He ended up dropping Terra Mamo for Terra Porygon. Now, I did not think Mamo was a weak part of this team. However, I understand it. It wasn't doing fantastic. And Terra P2 is annoying. I feel like I always lose to P2. It's just a good mod to have, really. Next is Urshifu Rapid Strike. So it is the water type Shifu. Great with like a Scarf. It's a really good Scarf user because it is faster than Indeedee. Indeedee Male, which is good to know. That is like Scarf Shifu. I do worry about that. Choice Scarf Shifu. Oh no, I'll be fine. I'll be good. Well, yeah. Will I be good? Yeah, I'll be good. I'll be fine. Scarf Shifu is really scary, actually. I'm sorry, I just did that. Noivern, fast, flying, and dragon type. It does get defog, I believe. Not actually 100% sure on that. But it's pretty solid, but doesn't have great offensive stats. Alolan Ninetales are a really good Pokemon, in my mind. It's got not a great special attack stat, but good special attacking stab. And then a really solid speed tier. It can run like offensive, like Blizzard, Freeze Dry, Moonblast, or can run super defensive with a Roarvel Encore. So it's very versatile. King Gambit, one of the mons that's like been like meh in draft lately, but started out being really good, and I still think it's really good. 135 base attack stat with like a really good physical bulk and very solid special bulk is not easy to deal with. But it doesn't have great coverage. So like if it's sub lefties, that's a good play, but like it is obviously 4 times weak to fighting and it is weak to fire and ground. And like, yeah, it's immune to the psychic type moves that my Pokemon have, but it doesn't like the fighting type moves that my psychic types have coverage for. But it does get like things like Sucker Punch. So does Shifu. Actually Shifu might not get Sucker Punch, but it does definitely get Aqua Jet. Which is in theory scary, but Psychic Terrain does help with that a lot, which is fantastic. Bramble Ghast does get Rapid Spin. It's a solid Ghost and Grass type. Can hit pretty hard when you need it to. I see a lot of Choice Band sets, so that's not something like I always feel comfortable facing, because Choice Band I don't have a lot of switch into. Gligar often comes defensive with like Spikes, Earthquake U-Turn, Toxic type things, maybe Stealth Rocks. It might come this game as a decent matchup. Not sure. Tuxtrigi has been one of his best Pokemon this season, but I do not think he brings it against us. I think Tux struggles. But like I wouldn't be horrifically surprised to see it, but I would be surprised to see it. But it's a cool mon. Manaphy, one of his better mons. His bulky water, not a great bulky water for what it is, but I don't have great ways to break it, so respect Manaphy. Like a little bit worried if it's going to be like a Calm Mind, Iron Defense, Stored Power set. That's not something I entirely want to face. And maybe I should consider changes to my team for that, but I think I'm stuck with it now. And then HOOPA UNBOUND, which is really good, but it dies to a U-turn, but it's got stupid offense. 160, 170, like that's dumb. So let's talk about it. Guys, we're making Scarf Prim. Choice Scarf Prim. And I think it's actually going to work. We are max speed, max special attack modest. What the max speed does, it actually allows us to speed tie max speed Manaphy. And with Energy Ball, we 2-co max HP. Now, not after many Calm Minds, but we 2-co max HP. If it's offense, we should 2-co. If it's offensive, we should 2-co with Moonblast, but it does depend. Actually, It looks like it's only a 60% chance. But Energy Ball does a lot to that Pokemon. And that's where the speed tier is for. But it also means we're outspeeding max speed Urshifu and below, which is fantastic. So we're outspeeding really speedy Bramblegast. We're outspeeding fast Kingambit. We're outspeeding fast Gligar. We're outspeeding fast Toxtricity. We're not outspeeding things like the Alolan Ninetales and the Noivern, but those are the only things that super scare me. Moonblast hits pretty much everything on this team. Doesn't super hit like Defento P2, so we do want to get rid of the Eviolite first. But Moonlight hits pretty much everything, with Energy Ball for the Manaphy, Psychic for the Toxtricity, and then Ice Beam to give me a one-hit KO on things like the Gligar. It gives me a super effective move on a bulky Bramblegast, and it gives me an option to hit Noivern for one hit. To Oko Noivern as well, but I will probably be clicking Ice Beam over that move 90% of the time. Scarf just looks nasty. Next, we got big Talladega. Ground and Ice, again, looks like really good offense in this team. There's very little that can take it. I was Vulture originally, but we do have Rapid Spin. This is our hazard remover. And then we have Knockoff. Knockoff's really, really good here for specifically the P2. I'm expecting something like a Terra, like, I don't know the right Terra on this guy. It could be like Terra Steel. I could see Terra Steel P2 coming to help with the Prim and the Hydreigon. And the Dios, really, but he's a little bit worried about Blaziken, and if he's Terra Steel, it does mean my Iron Treads hits really hard. So Iron Treads, I feel like it's going to be my P2 check, but I'm going to have to keep it safe for that mon. I cannot let that guy start setting up. But Knockoff removes the Eviolite, which is fantastic, and then Rapid Spin to get rid of hazards. But the AV also allows us to deal with things like the P2, like the Alolan Ninetales a little bit better. Ninetales doesn't want to take an Iron Head from us. We don't have it, but if we want to take that, it allows us to take hits from Special Manaphy. It allows us to pretty much taking nothing from Toxtricity. Specs Boomburst doesn't even 2-ko us, which is fantastic. And obviously things like the Bramblegast, we're still a little bit afraid of, but if it's offensive, Ice Painter does 84 to 99, which is crazy. Actually, I don't have Knockoff in here. Knockoff's actually an Oko on offensive, so this is really strong into pretty much anything except for the Shifu. But if it's not Scarf, we do outspeed the Shifu and do like half to it, give or take. Next, we got Big Gumby. You can see we're also bringing HR rep. We're bringing Indeedee deal with terrain nonsense, but we'll talk about Big Gumby first. Very HP and Spadef invested. This is kind of my check to Alolan Ninetales. I noticed Alolan Ninetales is really annoying to beat, so I have enough Spadef specifically, if I remember this correctly, to take a max speed Timid Blizzard. If it's modest, actually no, I think, I'm not 100% sure. No, it is fantastic. I have enough, sorry about that, I have enough Spadef to make sure max attack modest Blizzard from Alolan Ninetales is a 3-hit KO after one turn of Life Orb damage. And I know that sounds like a really complicated like stat spread, but I don't have a right way to check Alolan Ninetales outside of this guy, because Ice and Fairy hits really, really hard. And then it has Freeze Dry for things like Toxapex. And Toxapex doesn't have a great matchup anyway, but it's hitting pretty much everything for super effective or neutral damage. So this allows me to switch in on the Alolan Ninetales, and then if there's Psychic Train up, I do 2-ko with the Expanding Force always, unless it's Scarf. Or if it's Scarf, I still 2-ko. But I always 2-ko, even max HP. If Psychic Train is not there, I should always, if it's max HP, Psychic Train, should always 3-ko. And then we do have Brick Break to get rid of the Aurora Veil that it wants to set in front of us, which is fantastic. Other than that, we do have Knockoff to help with the Porygon 2, and then we have Ice Beam for things like the Noivern and the Gligar. And then it also does like decent-ish damage to the HOOPA. But Ice Beam, Brick Break also does help with the Kingambit, which is nice. Next, HR Rep, we're going Scarf Indeedee here. This is really just a terrain setter to come in and click Scarf Healing Wish later in the game. But Expanding Force does hit pretty hard once we're able to get rid of the Kingambit and the HOOPA. I do think both of them come. But if we're able to deal with those early enough, Scarf, Expanding Force goes crazy. But if it doesn't, we have Dazzling Gleam to hit things like the Noivern and like neutral damage against the Kingambit. But Drain Punch also hits the Kingambit. Super effective damage isn't going to come even close to a kill. How much does it do actually? Yeah, Drain Punch does 38 to 45 because I'm a negative defense nature. And he can't Sucker Punch me within Psychic Terrain, but he does Oko me with like any other hit. But it might be nice as I'm Scarf, so if he's got any chip, I can 2-co him with Fan Punch, which is really cool. Next, the mon that I think is actually going to win me this game is Troy Specs Hydreigon. I want to get Hydra a lot of kills this week. But to do that, we got to get his Terra up early-ish. I can also get it in safely, but Specs Terra Blast hits super, super hard. We have enough speed to outspeed max speed Urshifu unless it's Scarf, which is fantastic. And then if we are Terra Fairy, he can't actually OHKO us if he's Scarf anything. If he's banned, he can. But we do outspeed banned, which is great. And then Terra Blast absolutely nukes this guy. This guy, Roki's got very, very little checks to Terra Blast. His only resist to Terra Blast is the Toxtricity, which I have Earth Power for, and nor do I think is coming. Other than that, it's like Terra, Steel, Porygon 2. I'm just curious how much I am doing that guy. I'm 2-coing like a mixed defensive Eviolite Porygon 2, which is great. Now, if he's got like Terra Blast and he's +1 special attack from download, like I don't want to take that. But Earth Power 2-co's. And then we have Flash Cannon for the Ninetales to get a cheeky little OHKO on that. And then we have U-Turn, which does 60 to 70% on the HOOPA, and like getting a cheeky little pivot on there might not be a bad call. But it's more so if it's Assault Vest. Actually, so U-Turn ends up doing more than Terra Blast if it's AB. Which is great. Actually, I do think Terra Blast turns into a physical move. Because its defense is lower. I'm not sure, though. I actually don't know how that works there. And then final mon, we have got, guys, my team builds are just scuffed, aren't they? We've got Big Georgie coming back for a second game here. We're going to bring a cool set. We're going to bring Psychic Seed Acrobatics, which is going to be really fun. So Psychic Seed Acrobatics with a lot of speed and max attack. Acrobatics hits pretty much this entire team. We do have knockoff for the P2, but that's also for things like the Gligar, AV, or Eviolite, or like the Shifu. We don't take a Surging Strikes. We actually could take an Adamant Surging Strikes after a Prankster Bulk Up, which is cool. So we can kind of find out his set there. And then we have Brick Break for screens again. I really don't want to get screens up, if you haven't noticed. I don't want to have to deal with Assault Vest, but also I have 3 Brick Break users. Actually, I have 2 Brick Break users. Yeah, 2 Brick Break users. So I do not want Assault Vest to be on this field in any way. The problem with that means that I am not bringing an Electric type move for Manaphy, so we do need to get a couple bulk ups off to start dealing with Manaphy effectively. However, we do have the Psychic Seed, which does boost our special defense, which is fantastic, so we're not taking as much from things like the Ninetales. In fact, Max Modest Ninetales can't kill us at +1, and Acrobatics is a 2-co, which is really nice to know. After +1. Not +1, I don't think that's the case. Yeah, it's a 3-co to... Oh, that's a 3-co to max HP. Actually, if there's no HP, Acrobatics is a 2-co, that's really cool. In the snow with the snow boost. That's good to know. If it's not Scarf, we actually can kind of beat Ninetales as long as we win with Psychic Terrain. So that's sick. But yeah, this is team. Scuff team, seeing him bell. Okay, we are here. Oh my goodness. He's been having trouble connecting. There's a very high chance that this game disconnects. We'll have to make it on Showdown. So I do apologize if that happens, but I was just talking about my high school with Poncho install for like the last 50 minutes. So that's fun. He said he's searching. Oh, he didn't say Terra types. So I guess I'll cut to the start of the battle. Okay, we're in. He's Terra Water. Okay, so what do we not see? We don't see Norvern. We don't see Gambit. We do see the Manaphy and the HOOPA. And then we don't see the Gligar. Oh, and the Toxtricity. Okay, so this is pretty similar to what I'm expecting. Terra Water is pretty freaking good on the P2. What do I want to lead here? I actually don't hate the lead Prim, but maybe I don't want to pull it out yet. I think the only other option is just like lead Thundy. Let's just go lead Thundy and throw off a Choice Specs Terra Blast. Can we just like start clicking the damage button? That feels like the right play. Well, good luck, have fun, Roki. But Roki, you're gonna lose because you made me wait. Let's see. This is Assault Vest. HOOPA. I do fear this stored power. Manaphy set. Take heart, acid armor, scald, stored power. So it is just a lead Manaphy. So we're gonna see here. We're gonna see here. These EVs. We are just gonna go for a Specs Terror Blast right now. Absolutely, 100% of the time. I'm gonna do window projected view, so I can see this big time. I want to see this big time. Let me go into here. And I'll stop sharing, and I'll share my screen. I'll do window, and I'll make it big. So he is U-turn, so fantastic. And he is faster than me, so he does have at least enough speed to outspeed me. So what's that, 240? Yeah, it's 240. 240 with the U-turn. So I'm not worried about Manaphy anymore, which is great. How you get to the people watching. And I'm gonna have to see how much that did to me. So this isn't taking this in any way. This doesn't want to take this. Does this kill, by the way? This could just actually... Okay, that's so cool how much that does. Alright, this is what I need. So down to 261. So what's that? 261? He might have crit me. So that did 20%. What the heck? That might be choice band. I actually think that's choice band Manaphy, which is kind of nuts. I will just go for another Specs Terror Blast. If he gets AV up, he gets AV up. I can get rid of it. But in theory, I can kill this Ninetales. And I'd like to make that a reality. It just depends on if I kill behind this AV, but I think I do. Oh, we don't. That's a bummer. But he can just Blizzard me. So I guess I will just now go into the DO and click Brick Break. I will be faster, and I know that he's not Choice Scarf unless he switches out here. But he didn't, because I'm faster. He could be Baton Pass. Okay, so good play there, to be fair. Royal Baton Pass. So I'm guessing it's Blizzard Freeze Dry. But it could also just be Moonblast Freeze Dry. But I don't think he really needs the Ice Stab here, honestly. Yeah, I'm not... Like, it comes in handy. Okay, so it's the HOOPA that comes in here. Obviously, I do not want to take any attack from this guy ever. So what do? You may ask. I'm not quite sure. I think... but what do I do right now? I guess I can go Prim, but Aurora Veil is up. Dude, I actually think I'm just going to go for a Brick Break, and like, okay, if I die to a knock, I die to a knock. But I think Dio just Brick Breaks here, because... Oh, he is so fast. Oh, but I live. That's fantastic. No flinches. Oh, that's such a big flinch, man. Such a big flinch. But that is Choice Scarf. Timid. And a lot of speed. But he didn't kill me with a Dark Pulse. He did, so I'm at 45. But I do know that he's locked into Dark Pulse now, so I think I can just go into the... I actually think I can go into... Prim pretty safely. What about... Yeah, I can go into Prim pretty safe right now. So he's Psychic Pulse... Dark Pulse, Psychic Noise, Thunderbolt probably. But man, knocking that Brick Break off is really, really annoying. But I do know that he's Scarfed. And down to... So that did 85%. So that could be not a lot of special attack investment. I will just go for Moonblast here, for sure. Like, he has a couple checks through it, but not a ton of great ones. But he has a couple checks because Aurora Veil is up. But I do 3-co him, which is great, and he doesn't 3-co me. I'm at 217. And now he doesn't know that I'm Scarfed, which is great. I'm going to need this Healing Wish. Goes into the Dropper, which is a P2. You can see Attack Boost, which is what I wanted to see, but Terra Blast is going to be boosted before Terra Water. Oh, wow, that did 0 damage. So that did 5, 10, 15%. So that actually looks like it's pretty... that could be a low roll for Fizz Def. Or a high roll for Spidef. So that's not very helpful. What I do though is I go into Talladega here. I think this is a pretty easy switch. Even if he's Terra Water, Terra Blast, I live 1. Because he's the attack boost, not the special attack boost. And I very much doubt he goes for Terra Water, Terra Blast right now. Goes for the Psy Shock. That's going to do pitiful damage to me. Absolutely nothing. Down to 305. Psy Shock is kind of a crazy play. I do just go for a knockoff right now and start getting annoying. Because if he wants to Terra and attack me, he loses Eviolite. And if he switches out, he dies. I just don't think a knockoff kills Ninetales, but anything else does. So he switches out. He switches out into Manaphy. So that's good to get this knock on the Manaphy. Choice Scarf, so it's not banded, but it is physical. I think. So he's Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf Liquidation. Doesn't actually kill me, but I don't do a lot back to him. I'm assuming he's going to be speedy. But yeah, I don't do a lot back to him. I think I can go... if he clicks U-turn, indeed he does die. Well, if he's adamant. If he's timid, no. But I think indeed is not a horrible switch here. So what I want to do is I want to get in the Thundy now. I just kind of hope indeed he doesn't die, really. But if he dies, he dies, and then they just go hard Thundy. And I know that there's 2 Choice Scarfs and potentially a 3rd on there in the Shifu. So he is not physical. And he's the Aurora Veil Dwarf, great. So Scald and no more Aurora Veil, and he is no longer Choice Scarfed. So I guess if he's timid then. That does mean I'm going to be faster than him, but I can't click a nasty little Expanding Force here. But I am just going to switch out into the Thunderous, I think, now. Because if this is the HOOPA switching in here to take us Expanding Force, that's a good play. He did see that I'm Choice Scarf there, so that is something worth mentioning, I think. I do have a Spidef boost now, which is fantastic. And he just goes for a Raw Skull, so don't... Yeah, okay, so I didn't say it, so that's great. I don't think he stays here, so I think I bulk up. Down to 213. So let's see how much it did. 213 Scald did about 30%, so it is invested. So I think we just got a crit on the U-turn. I didn't see it. I could Acrobatics, but I am just going to go for a bulk up right now because I don't think he stays in. So I'm +1/+1/+1 right now, which is great. He goes into the Watcher. What's that guy? So that's the Bramblegast. He could be like Scarf Poltergeist, but I kind of doubt that's happening. I could just go for a Knock or an Acro here, but I don't want it to be like Colbur Berry, so I'll just go for an Acrobatics and try and kill, I think. Scarf Poltergeist should... Yeah, and we pick up a kill, so fantastic. Thundy kills Bramble. Bramblegast I wasn't too worried about, but I am, I guess, glad that I got a kill on a Pokemon. The problem he's running into is he doesn't have a good switch into me, because... What's Strago? Okay, that's a Ninetales. He's not Scarf, though. I'm faster than him. I am faster than Ninetales. So I'll just go for an acrobatics again, I think. Yeah, okay, great. Thundy kills Ninetales, which is great. No more terrain, but the snow is up for X amount of turns. I'm pretty sure that was extended Auroraville, by the way. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was. Because it into Dropper. So that's the P2, and he gets the attack boost, but I can go for the knockoff right now. And get rid of that stinking Eviolite. Oh, and he stayed in. So no over Eviolite. And this will hurt, but to be fair. Yeah, oh, not even though. Okay, so he didn't Terra because he can go Terra Water. But so I do think I actually just go for a Brick Break right now. No. Oh, no. Yeah, I go for a Brick Break. Because I think he's worried about an electric type move. This kills? Yes, this kills. Great. Thundy kills P2. So that's awesome. We're in a real good spot right now. He does know my full stat, so he does know that I don't have electric type move. But he goes into the HOOPA. So what I think I do is I knock off the HOOPA. I'm at 135. So I do think he kills me. Here. I do think he actually, Dark Pulse, and it depends on his EVs. I'll knock off into an Acro, though. This has a chance for sure. It doesn't. Yes, and we get the knockoff. Rad. Knocks off the Choice Scarf, which is super cool. I can just go for an Acro here now. And I think Thundy's picking up 4 kills. Which is super rad. Thundy kills HOOPA. And we're faster than Manaphy. We don't Oko. But it's making me think that this is not Scarf Shifu, which is super cool. It's Gull. This could... Oh, it could be Jet. He could have Aqua Jet. I do absolutely just stay in and click Acrobatics, by the way. There is no other play here. And we are faster, and we get the kill. Okay, super cool. Thundy kills Shifu. Guys, this is so good for playoffs. This is so good for playoffs. In theory right now, we are going 4-2 plus 11. Is it worth the +6 differential here? I do not necessarily think so. But Manaphy does very much... oh, I got rid of Manaphy. Does absolutely struggle against Prim. So I'll just... We're going to be... Actually... No, we're just going to... There is a 0 point in doing that. I'll just click the Acro and maybe get a crit. Oh, no crits. Unlucky. Goes for the Scald. Okay, so... Man kills Thundy. Who do I want to give a kill to is the question. I'm going to give it a Hydreigon. Absolutely going to give it a Hydreigon, no doubt in my mind. So fantastic. Sorry, Thundy, you didn't pick up the kill. We go for a cheeky little Terra Blast. Oh my god, that must have been a crit. That was a crit. And it gets the crit and the burn, which is so funny. But Hydra kills Manaphy. Kills Man. And we win this game 5-0. Could have been a 6-0. Wasn't worth it to me. I wanted to give Thunder the opportunity for the kill. But we felt like we were going to that game prepared, and we clearly were. The Thundy set he just had no option for at the end of the day. GG's to Roki. Sorry we didn't get to like really see cool Scarf Prim do anything or Android hit the field, but I am okay when we win by a lot. So I'll see you in week 7.